Well, hello and welcome back to another episode in A Year Gardening. Now, I'm just refilming this bit because I had already filmed this earlier in the month, but it was going to be fairly negative because I've not been very well this month at all. But today I'm feeling pretty good. And the reason for that is I've been very, very fortunate to be looked after by the wonderful people who are in our NHS, our doctors and nurses, radiographers, people who really care about their jobs. And so I'm going to just start off with one little message for Rishi Sunak and his wonderful government. If you want to give me a bigger tax bill, I don't know, an extra 10 quid a month or 20 quid a month, I'll pay that for these people to have the wages they deserve. And I think a lot of people would agree with me. We'd pay that little bit extra for them to have what they deserve, because if I didn't have had the care I've had this last month, I probably wouldn't even be here now. So thank you to everyone in the NHS for your dedication, for your care, for your skills, for your knowledge. And Rishi, give them what they deserve, because they really need to stay here in the UK and not be travelling off to other countries to earn their money. So let's keep them here and give them a wage they deserve. That's it. Thank you very much. Okay. Now I'm going to carry on with my gardening show. So you remember, was it 6-8 weeks ago when I planted this bed of seeds down here? The cosmos are coming through lovely. We've got our little fried eggplants coming through. We've got cornflowers. It's absolutely gorgeous, and the colours coming through lovely. I've got another bed just planted over in the middle here, another one out the front. They're all going to come through beautifully. I was going to do some video of the strawberry runners and growing those on, but I won't actually have time to do that because we're now, well, the last day of July, and I need to get this out for August, so I'm going to be very limited on what I can do. I will show you the progress we've made with the access all areas of the garden, and we'll just catch up on a couple of little bits and pieces. But I'm really pleased. We've got colours, we've got butterflies, we've got beautiful things. And talking of butterflies, the big butterfly count is on now. I've got a little bit later on in this show for you on that. But butterfly conservation, do this count every year. It's very important to be checking on our pollinators and how they're doing and everything else. And butterflies are a key ingredient to that. So we'll just cover that, and I'll show you how you can join in on the big butterfly count right up to the 6th of August. So yeah, I've had my little shout out, I've had my little rant, but I'm actually able to talk, which, believe it or not, 4 days ago I couldn't walk 50 feet and I couldn't breathe. So that's the quality of the treatment I've had, and I'm so very grateful. So yeah, without any further ado, welcome to August in A Year Garden. So this is Steve, the man who's built this lovely ramp to get down into the garden, and he's just preparing the ground to build a railing as well to go down the side of the ramp. And hey, this guy's been working really hard in some rather awkward conditions, but there we go. I'll let you watch Steve for a minute. Right, so Steve is now going to be putting these posts in for me, and he's been knocking this all up by hand, and it don't look like easy work, I tell you. But this is going to hold these posts in to create the handrails for the side of the ramp. Well, now the ramp is finished, we can look at a little bit of planting down the side. And I've decided on some Cottage Garden perennials just to fill this out and give it a little bit of character for next year. Obviously they I very much doubt we'll do anything this year, but for next year they'll be beautiful. So I'm going to start putting those in there now. I've chosen some plants with various heights, colours. So we've got some geums, we've got delphinium, we've got hollyhocks, lovely things that we're used to seeing in the traditional cottage garden. So we're just going to pop a couple of those in here. There's a little geum there. And this is going to be a nice little border, I think. Just give us some character down beside this path. But I might, if I do that, I will get a couple of the plants from the greenhouse that I haven't used actually. Pop in there as well. There we go. Lovely. We've got a few there. Get rid of that bit. From there, get rid of that. Don't want that in there. Lovely. Right, just fill there. Nicely. Put that down in there. Lovely. Nice. Yeah. Another little geum there. We're going to put these all the way down really to build it out. More naturalistic sort of effect. Well, I've got a couple of Sonettis, so we should be able to get those into the ground here. Just gives a little spot of colour for this year as well, which would be nice. So, get that in there. Here a little bit of ground. Nice. Get that pot. Now, pop that inside there. Well, that's going to have the desired effect. Get another couple of those in there. I think they look quite nice. Well, now we've got a chance to help with the big butterfly count. Up until the 6th of August, Butterfly Conservation are running this count, and there's a few pictures here of some butterflies that I've taken in the garden over the past few days. Just involves spending 15 minutes on 1, 2, 3 occasions, however often you want to do it, count the butterflies in your garden. The app is available to download, totally free, and it's got an identification chart on it. So visit the Apple Store or the Google Play Store, download the app. Well, here we are, mini orchard. You may remember 2 years ago when I planted these fruit trees, and I told you it would be 3 years till I had some fruit. Well, last year we had 1 or 2 rogue fruits come through, which was rather nice. And this year we've got some more. Just up here on this Brayburn, we've got a bit of a crossover there, but we've got some lovely apples coming on here. We've got some more on the lower branches as well. So I'm really, really happy with the way this is growing. Now, what I'm going to show you very shortly is the access area. So I'm going to take the electric scooter of my wife's and just run that round the garden and show you how accessible this garden now is with the new ramp. Well, whilst I'm here by the fruit trees, you may remember a couple of months back when I planted up the Philadelphus, which I put into the front garden. I also planted up a black currant bush, and I thought it would be nice to have it at the top of the ramp here by the fruit trees. Now it's grown rather nicely. Here it is in the pot. So what I'm going to do before transplanting that, I'm just going to give it a really, really good soak, get it nice and wet before planting that in the hole. Well, the hole is watered, the plant is watered, and I've checked that that fits in lovely into the hole. So I'm just going to, the lovely smell you get with ribes. So this is a black currant, and look at the lovely amount of root that we got come on there. Remember, this was bare root when I planted it, so I'm just going to split that a little bit, and that is lovely and wet as well. Pop that in there. Might just put a little bit more underneath there, just to build that up a little bit. That's lovely. And then we just feed some soil in around there. And this is going to be a lovely little addition to the fruit border here. So, although it's really a soft fruit and should go over the other side, I've got to thin out over the back where all of the raspberries are. There's far too many raspberry plants in there now, but this black currant's going to be lovely here. I might even plant a few more bits down this side as well, just to fill that out. But let's just make sure this is held in properly now, nice and firm, and then we'll get some water in on that later on as well. Another lovely little addition to the garden. Happy days. Well, one of the things that Steve had to do when he was measuring and calculating angles and faults and everything else was to make sure that someone visiting the garden, and now as it is, both of us as users of mobility scooters, can actually access the garden properly without grounding out. And the angles have all been calculated to make sure that this doesn't ground out. The handrail is on the side for people who are using maybe a stick or a frame. But I'll just take this down and I'll show you how easy it is to get around the garden now. Comfortable, pleasant, able to see the plants, able to wander around in comfort. Have a nice little cream cake and a cup of tea now, I think. Well, we've been harvesting our summer fruits. The strawberries are finished now. We've been getting some lovely raspberries over the last couple of days. The grapes are looking superb out on the grapevine. And these tomatoes, a little bit wilted today. It's been a warm day, but we're going to be watering those in a minute. And the cucumbers, absolutely, we've been harvesting cucumbers left, right and centre, and they're doing very, very well indeed. So, a bountiful harvest coming this year. And I'm looking around at my tomatoes, and I've probably got about 100 fruits on these plants at the moment. So, absolutely wonderful. And once I get those watered later, they'll just perk straight back up because they don't like the heat too much, but they need the heat. but they also need the ground to be moist, and although it's moist underneath, it started to dry out on top, so we'll get a good water on that later on. So garden's coming on quite well. I'm a little bit obviously behind on what I should have been doing because I've not been too well, but there we go. So I'm just going to pop up into my little private garden area and share a few thoughts with you about where we've been, where we're going, what we're going to be doing. And to my friends in White Regis, a couple of weeks I'll be down there with you, and hopefully I'll be able to run into one or two of you. So let's just go and sum up today's show. Well, here we are back in the woodland border, and how it has filled out over these last 6 to 8 months. Stunningly beautiful. 50 shades of green, they might say. It's absolutely lovely. All of the flowers, the scents, the different shapes of the leaves, different colours of green. It is absolutely stunning to be here. And I'm very, very grateful. As I did mention at the start of the show, I've not been too well, and I'm very grateful to our wonderful staff in the National Health Service. I'd also like to mention at this point in time that my brother has been going through a very difficult time and has been looked after by the lovely people in St Thomas's Hospital in London, and he is back home and he is doing well as well. So we've many reasons to be grateful. It is a blessing that the Lord has smiled on us at this stage and said, I don't want you with me now, you're too much trouble, you stay where you are. So thank you very much to everyone who has helped us and supported us over these last couple of weeks. They have been a very difficult time, but we're putting it all back together. Anyway, garden is a little bit behind where I should be on maintenance wise, but I'm quite happy with the way it looks. I've got a mass of butterflies, hoverflies, bees, wasps, all of these wonderful things flying through the garden because we've got the flowers to encourage them in. We have a lot of moths at night, and that's because of our things like the evening primrose and the honeysuckles, and they encourage these wonderful animals in late at night. So I'm blessed to be able to sit here. I am so appreciative of everything I can see around me. I just love it. I'm going to be doing a lot of tidying over the next couple of weeks, which I will hopefully share with you in our September offering. I'm not going to push myself hard to put out the extra shows that I did say I was going to do because I'm just not up to it. And I'm sorry for that, but we'll do what we do. We'll tidy, we'll clean, we'll make the garden nice, and hopefully we'll be able to sit out here in a month that isn't as rainy as July has been, and we can just enjoy some nice evenings, maybe with a cake, a glass of wine, cup of tea, whatever, and just chill. So that's where we are at the moment. As you can see, the garden is now much more accessible. The next major project I've got to do is I've got to take the bridge out over the stream because we have now realised that that is too narrow for access through to the bottom seating section of the garden. So we're going to remove that bridge. That will go over the new pond in one area or another, but we're going to make a wider, strong bridge that is going to be able to take an electric chair over there to allow fuller access to the bottom part of the garden. So yeah, happy days. Little projects, we build them up all the time, don't we? And when I just think I've got nothing else to do in the garden, I've got 500 jobs to do. Hey, that doesn't matter. I can share them with you. That's a good thing. So anyway, that's me for today. I'm really grateful to have been able to be joining you today. And yeah, God bless a lot of you. I love your company and thank you very much for being with me. I'll just ask you to stay safe, be well, be kind to each other, and with a small glass of Shiraz, if I may, happy gardening. Cheers. Ah.